Assalamu alaikum and welcome. Today, we journey back in time to explore the early life of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Before his prophethood, we explored his early childhood, marked by profound events that foreshadowed his destiny. Today, we journey to a pivotal moment in Meccan history, a time of tribal tensions and divine intervention, the rebuilding of the Kaabah. Imagine the bustling city of Mecca, nestled amidst rugged mountains. The Kaabah, the sacred house of Allah, stood tall, its black stone a beacon of faith. But fate, it seemed, had other plans. A devastating fire, sparked by a cooking accident, engulfed the Kaabah's cloth covering. Though the structure remained, the damage was significant. As if echoing this calamity, a powerful flood, a common occurrence in Mecca's valley, ravaged the city, further weakening the Kaabah's roof and walls. With this destruction, the Quraysh, the leading tribe of Mecca, resolved to rebuild the holy sanctuary. Little did they know that their efforts would intersect with a twist of destiny across distant lands. Meanwhile, a fierce conflict raged between the Romans and Persians. In Yemen, a church financed by the Roman Caesar with the finest marble and wood stood as a testament to their power. But Allah, in his infinite wisdom, sent a tempestuous storm. The ship carrying these precious materials, destined for Yemen, was forced to dock at Jeddah. Unable to continue their journey, the Romans reluctantly sold their cargo, including the services of a skilled Roman carpenter. News of this unexpected sale reached the Quraysh, who seized the opportunity. Pooling their resources, they purchased the materials, securing the expertise of the Roman carpenter to guide their ambitious project. Reconstructing the Kaabah, however, was no simple task. The sanctity of the house of Allah weighed heavily on their minds. It was al-Walid ibn al-Mughira, a respected elder, who bravely took the first step, striking the initial blow to begin the deconstruction. The next day, the Quraysh united in their purpose, carefully dismantling the Kaabah. Yet, as the reconstruction progressed, a dispute arose, threatening to unravel their unity. The honor of placing the revered black stone back into the Kaabah became a point of contention. The Banu Abd Manaf, the Prophet's own clan, believed their prestigious lineage entitled them to this honor. The rival Banu Makhzum, equally determined, claimed the right based on their control over the section of the Kaabah where the black stone resided. For 5 agonizing days, construction halted, as the tribes locked horns in a bitter stalemate. The Banu Makhzum, in a display of fierce resolve, even sealed their pact with a blood oath, vowing to fight to the death. It was Abu Umayyah, the oldest and wisest of the Meccans, who intervened. Sensing the escalating danger, he proposed a solution. The first person to enter the Kaabah's enclosure would decide the fate of the black stone. And who should walk through the gate at that pivotal moment? None other than the young Muhammad, peace be upon him. Revered for his honesty and integrity, his presence brought a wave of relief and joy. Both tribes readily accepted his judgment, regardless of his clan affiliation. With wisdom beyond his years, the Prophet placed the black stone upon a cloth and invited representatives from each tribe to lift it together, placing it in its rightful place within the Kaabah. Thus, through his intervention, bloodshed was averted, and unity was restored. The rebuilt Kaabah, however, bore subtle but significant changes. Its original rectangular shape was modified to a square due to the limited materials. Its height was doubled, and the door was raised above ground level, restricting access to its interior. A waterspout was also added to protect against future flood damage. Years later, after the Prophet peace be upon him migration to Medina and eventual return to conquer Mecca, he expressed his desire to restore the Kaabah to its original Abrahamic foundations. He wished for the door to be accessible to all, symbolizing the inclusivity of Islam. While a brief period during the early Umayyad Caliphate saw the Prophet's vision realized, the Kaabah was ultimately rebuilt in its modified form. Imam Malik, a renowned scholar, cautioned against altering it further, fearing it might become a political tool. Though the Kaabah stands today as a testament to its later reconstruction, there's profound symbolism in the Prophet's desire for change. The raised door, while limiting physical access, inadvertently opened a spiritual gateway. Praying within the Kaabah's original boundaries, now outside the enclosed structure, holds the same reward as praying inside. This teaches us that the true sanctity lies not in the physical structure, but in the devotion of our hearts and the remembrance of Allah. The rebuilding of the Kaabah, just 5 years before the Prophet's revelation, mirrors the rebuilding of faith he would soon undertake. It serves as a powerful metaphor. The foundation of Islam, the belief in one God, remained unchanged, like the ground upon which the Kaabah stands. Yet, the practices and rituals, like the bricks, were renewed and purified. The rebuilding of the Kaabah was more than a story of architectural restoration. It was a defining moment that showcased the Prophet Muhammad's, peace be upon him, unparalleled wisdom and leadership, even before his prophethood. Through his intervention, unity was preserved, and the sanctity of the Kaabah upheld. This event foreshadowed the profound impact he would have on reshaping hearts and guiding humanity toward the worship of the one true God. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories like this. And if you found this video meaningful, please share it with your friends and family to spread the wisdom. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.